What's up, everyone, and welcome to episode 24 of the Infinity Flux Letters page. I am Matt.
I'm Andy.
And this is our bi-weekly live stream where we just sort of talk about whatever we want to talk about in the realm of comic books. We are live on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. I think that's all of them. And
Until they invent more, we're on all of those.
What's up, Hotbox Comics on TikTok, on YouTube? We got Nurion and Walt Parrish. How are you guys doing today?
What's up?
But shoot, I don't know if Instagram's going or not. Hey, Instagram is working. Casey on Instagram, I'm a big fan, and I go to the Chattanooga one on my bike every day. That's awesome.
Nice.
Thank you so much, Casey. We really, really appreciate it. And I'm glad to know that that Instagram's working because on our end it's frozen.
Yeah.
So,
unless they just like a show that's just a big number 10.
The big number, yeah, it's on number 10 on our screen over here. But yeah, so this live stream is kind of just like the online equivalent of talking with your buddies at the comic book store on New Comic Book Day. And we've got a couple cool things to talk about. Let me borrow that.
No.
Yeah, so on Monday, we were not able to go over all of the comics that we normally go over because of the 4th of July holiday. Our shipment didn't come in on Friday like it normally does. So some of them came in on Monday, and those are the ones we talked about on Monday. And then everything else came in on Tuesday, but we didn't get to talk about those. So we thought we'd maybe just chat about some of them on this show. And maybe we could also chat very, very spoiler-free about Superman, because Andy and I got to see the new Superman movie last night. And it's fantastic. So, and we'll look out for questions too. Tyler, how you doing?
Hey, Tyler was there too.
Yeah, Tyler was there. Tyler, did you enjoy the new Superman movie? The only correct answer is yes. Joining from Boise, Idaho, how's it going? Thank you, Cheeky Devil. And the Flashies,
that's what I
how's it
call
going?
you.
Aw,
You little cheeky devil.
I know, right? You little slugger. Sorry, I was looking at one little thing over there, but that's okay. So Tyler, yes, Tyler likes Superman. Very, very cool. So, I loved it. We both loved it. My son was there. Your girlfriend was there. Like, everybody loved it.
It was a fun theater. We were talking before it started about the theater experience when it is a big movie. And especially used to we had the midnight openings, because stuff like that, the people who were there made that an appointment. It wasn't just like, oh, what do you want to go see? It was like, these are people who have been actively excited about this. Yeah. And that's just such a fun environment to be in when people clap, people cheer. It reminded me of going to see Star Wars at midnight.
Oh my
gosh.
Kind of thing. Those days were the best, man.
It's just so much fun.
Yeah. All right, so we can chat about that. Yeah, seeing it on Friday, got my shirt too. Oh, it's funny because so we were both, and my son, we were wearing not this one, but the other blue shirt with the new logo on it. And I thought, hey, this will be fun to wear, but I hope people don't think it's too nerdy. There must have been at least a dozen people.
It looked like they were handing out that shirt in the parking lot. Right. You got in there and it was a sea of Superman.
It's like that was the uniform for that movie. Anything worth viewing before seeing Superman? Nope. No, I mean, there's nothing. I mean, this is the start of a brand new cinematic universe, so you don't need to have watched anything. Maybe there's one thing, but I can't tell you what it is.
Yeah.
But no, you can go into this one just completely free and clear of anything else. Only movie I've seen in the theater in over a year, and what a movie to go see. I picked up Absolute Superman 2 and 3. Now I can binge on the series very nice. Yeah. I love Absolute Superman so much. And then originally from Tasmania, Australia, Cheeky Devil is the equivalent to Smart Ass in America. I think my mom has called me that quite a few times. So, all right. So, while we want to talk about a couple of the books that came out today that we did not get the chance to talk about. Now, I've only been able to read one of them. I only had the chance to read one today, and that is this one, Absolute Superman number 9. And this is still my favorite. Absolute book of all of them. And especially this issue seems like it might have, it introduces something that's fairly big to the main universe.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see it in this universe too.
Yeah, it was a really cool issue that did spotlight some of the other players as well. There was a lot more Jimmy Olsen, and you learned more about his backstory. Yeah. There's some great moments with Lois.
Ra's al Ghul is very scary.
We kind of get I feel like before we've just seen him kind of like emerge, and nothing, but like you actually get some interaction with him. This definitely is like a more brutal version of Superman. As he has to do surgery on himself.
Yeah, and plus, we learn a little. No, we don't. It's not really we learn more, but we see a little bit more with the Omega Man and how they are sort of willing to maybe do some things to defeat Lazarus that Superman isn't willing to do.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty interesting. And real quick before we go on, Dungeon Crawler, do you guys know anything about the surprise drop issue of the new Apocalypse event? So I just read about that today, the Age of Revelation. And I was going to ask you about it. Like, it said that some retailers were getting like a surprise, like issue 0 that kicks off that event. Did we get anything?
Not that I saw. No, yeah. I helped get all the comics ready and everything, and I didn't get one. Sometimes we'll get them a couple of days later, or it'll come with a different shipment. But as far as I know, we did not get it.
Did you read about that? Article? Did you see that article I sent you?
Oh, I just had it pulled up when we started.
Yeah, so it's like it's a they say it's a new status quo for X-Men, but basically it's like it's the 30th anniversary of Age of Apocalypse. Mm-hmm. So now it's like this is a story that takes place 10 years in the future in a kind of like a post-apocalyptic world, and the X-Men it's they look very like Age of Apocalypse. The way they looked in Age of Apocalypse was very different to how they looked in X-Men at the time, and this is that. So, Cyclops has a beard and his hair slicked back, and Wolverine's got this weird, like, mask on. Okay. And so it's almost like the 2025 version of Age of Apocalypse, where everybody looks different. Beast looks all gray and that kind of thing. And there's a whole bunch of new titles that are coming out.
I saw that list down at the bottom of a bunch of them and everything.
And, and people were complaining about the number of new titles, but I'm thinking this is exactly what happened in 1995 when Age of Apocalypse came out. There was a whole bunch of new titles, Amazing X-Men and Magneto, whatever that book was, and, Gambit and the X Factor or something like that. But so this is a lot like that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so
it's a one-shot issue, the special, like,
it's some kind of issue 0 that they said retailers were like stealth sending to retailers that just kind of pop up. And it's like, what the heck is this? So the event doesn't start till like October. So maybe we'll get it. I'm not sure, but we'll keep an eye out for it.
Yeah. And if Tyler's still watching, did you know about this surprise issue?
All the titles are changing names.
Yeah. Cause Tyler, who's in here, is the letterer, one of the letterers on the new Age of Apocalypse. So he knows things. He knows things that he's not allowed to say.
Right. You can like tell us later on the slide. Any mentions of Creature Commandos and Superman? I don't want to confirm or deny anything because the movie still isn't out yet. So I don't want to say yes there is or no there isn't, because then you're like, oh sweet, I can't wait to hear it, or bummer they don't mention. So I don't want to tell it either way.
Our lips are sealed on everything that involves like the content of Superman. But I mean, all the secrets will be revealed about everything in it once you see it.
Yeah, in due time.
Tyler also said I did not know anything.
Right.
Which sounds about like if you work in the comics industry, there's just a lot of stuff you don't know.
I know nothing.
I know nothing.
All right, so going back to Absolute Superman. Oh, seeing it tomorrow, yes. Oh, man, only one more sleep till you get to see it. I can't wait for everybody to see this thing. Easy Reader, how's it going? So, Absolute Superman. I mean, that's we get a lot more cool action with Superman in this. More like him using like his powers and like the dust and the cape and just like
the explosion power.
Yeah, like his solar flare and just I mean, it's another just fantastic issue, and one that I think I still feel that this book is the biggest one, like has the most ramifications for the overall universe, the overall Absolute universe.
Yeah, I really like this issue. I just read it a little bit ago, and I'm just still excited to see what's going to come next, because it feels like they're building up a lot of adversaries for Superman at this point, where he's almost overwhelmed with everyone's trying to tell Superman what he's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And he kind of needs to find out for himself who he's going to be in this absolute universe.
Yeah, when he figures that out, though, because I feel like he still isn't fully embracing his role in the world and who he is and that kind of thing. But when that happens, like when everything clicks for him, like he's going to be just unstoppable. And real JD Barry, yes, there is a mid and a post-credit scene. So stay all the way through the end of the credits. Is the Absolute Superman first trade due anytime soon? Yes, they are all coming in. Well, the first 3 are coming in August. We're getting Batman first. I want to say that might be the first. It's either the first or second Wednesday in August.
They sent us a early copy of the trade that has a little like button on it that's like, this is basically like show people like a copy that like someone's like, oh, I wonder what that's going to be like. We're like, well, we have one here you can check out.
Yeah.
But it's like a not for sale copy. But it looks really nice. Got some great like extra bonus sketches in the back and everything.
Nice.
So it makes me think like that one is really soon. It's done.
Yeah. So they are. I don't know which Wednesday. I want to say Batman is the first Wednesday in August. Wonder Woman is the next week, and then Superman is the next week. So I know they each fall on consecutive weeks. I just don't know when in August it starts, but it is August for sure.
Yeah.
Is Pattinson Batman in this universe? No. So the Pattinson Batman is a separate like Elseworlds kind of thing off over here, while you've got the DC David Cornsweet Superman is all over here.
Yeah.
On TikTok, how many issues does Absolute Batman Volume 1 cover? Is it? I think it's 7. Because
7, I think.
Because the first story arc was 6. No. Wait, no, I think it's 8, right?
What issue ends with the creepy little baby thing? And
so 9 was the start Bane, and then the 2 parts was 8, 7, so 6. Yeah, so it should be 1 through 6.
The one where someone says like, "Get me Bane" or whatever.
Yeah.
That's where this trade ends.
Yeah, it's 1 through 6 because it was the other ones have been a 5-issue story arc at the beginning, but this one had sort of like that interlude, almost like that Absolute Batman Year 1 story in number 4. So this one runs 6 issues, or does it include the other 2? No, I think it's 8.
It doesn't have those other.
Oh, it does. Oh, you said.
No, I skimmed through it and I saw where it ends.
Okay, so I think it's the first 6 issues then. Yeah. Did you get the Fantastic Four pins to give out? Yeah.
Yeah, we got them. What's funny is a lot of times companies just send us stuff and they don't tell us what to do with it. So when it's a surprise thing, we get it. We're like, did someone order this or what? So
what is this? Right?
What is this? So yeah, we did get them in. Usually they come with like a little notice of like, hey, give this to the first so many people that buy Fantastic Four. It didn't have anything. It's just a bag with some pins in it. So I'm not sure if we've given them out yet. Or
they were still there when I got here an hour and a half ago.
Yeah. So we'll figure out how people get them because there's not a lot of them. It was like 6 or 8.
I wanted to take one, but I was like, I don't know if I should.
Yeah, it wasn't like how we got one for every copy we got. No, it was they're really premium pins. They're really nice.
They're nice looking. Yeah, they're kind of small. They're on the smaller side. They're not like they're not like the fig pins.
Yeah,
they're smaller.
But they definitely did not give us enough to give to everybody, and so I always feel like it comes across a little weird when I have to pick and choose who gets them or whatever. So because then it's like we'll give it to the first so many people. Well, people got it in their pool boxes.
Yeah.
Do they not count as also getting it first?
Mm-hmm.
So it's up to us to figure out how people get them. And
you can just put them together and give them away as a set. Do like an Instagram giveaway or something.
Yeah, we'll just toss them up in the air, do a jump ball for them, and whoever can grab them and not get hurt by them.
Or maybe 2 weeks from now, when we do the next episode, you'll just see them all pinned on my shirt.
Yeah,
and that's where they went. they went to me. Absolute Superman comes out trade paperback on August 19th. That's awesome. Yeah, that sounds right. So that means the Wonder Woman is on the 12th, and then the Batman is on the 5th. So that would be that. Yeah.
There's a question up on Instagram.
TikTok.
Yeah. I don't know any of them. How hard would it be to open a comic book store / get it running? Pretty difficult, as is any startup business. I couldn't tell you what it would take at this point. It takes a lot of initial funding to order your first bit of stuff and build a customer base. That's kind of the difference between like opening up a restaurant or opening whatever. Like comic book stores really do rely on returning customers and pull boxes and it depending, does your location, is there one around? I feel like if there's not one around, then you've got a better chance. But if you have a highly contested area, it's going to be hard. And also, I think you're about to say, if there's not one around, does that mean is there a market for one?
That's right. That's what I was going to say. Is like, yeah, if there's no other around, then like, oh, sweet, I'm going to be the only one here. But if it's maybe like a small town, are there enough people in that town that want to read comics? I mean, like, it's luckily here in Chattanooga, there does seem to be like a pretty large comic book reading and collecting population. But some places there aren't. So,
but my biggest thing I can say to anyone who wants to open a comic book store is, don't open a comic book store just because you're a fan of comics. Have some business background, whether you went to school for business or you are just really good at business. It's great that I want everyone to, who works and runs a comic book store to be a fan of it, but that is not your first priority. Your first priority is to run a successful business, no matter what that business is.
Yeah, I do feel like there's lots of shops out there that are run by people who are, that they open it just because they're fans of comics, but it takes so much more than that.
Yeah.
You have to be so much more than just a fan of comics to make it successful.
Almost, I would say, if you're a diehard fan of comics and that's why you're opening it, don't, because not that you'll get jaded by it, but you will probably not have time for comics anymore. That comics will suddenly become the back burner, at least in your personal life.
Yeah.
It will become your business, and that's always a sticky rope to walk.
Yeah. Favorite Superman actor? Question from Nick on TikTok. I mean, it's got to be Christopher Reeve, right? I mean, I grew up with the Christopher Reeve movies, but I mean, I like them all. I mean,
I think they all fit their movies.
Yeah.
Christopher Reeve in that very idealized, role. I think he is still maybe the best Clark Kent. He's such a good, kind of klutzy. He can go between the two really well. I mean, David Cornsweet is awesome. He really, put his mark on Superman with this. I don't know. Henry Cavill, I think, is maybe the way he looks like the most I would want Superman to look like. Given like a different kind of movie, I would love to have seen a traditional Superman movie with him.
Because I can't say Cavill but it's not his fault.
Right.
He wasn't given much to work with. And that's not a knock on Man of Steel, because Man of Steel is one of my favorite movies of all time. I love that movie and have seen it numerous times. But he just wasn't given, he wasn't given, like we were just talking earlier, I read something today that said he only had 43 lines of total dialogue in the whole movie.
Yeah.
In his whole movie, which is crazy. So, I really, really did want to see a more bright, hopeful Henry Cavill version of Superman, like the one we got in this new movie. It's a very bright, there's a lot of humor stuff. I wanted to see Cavill be that kind.
Yeah.
And I think he would have done well, but he just never got that chance.
Right.
But, and I always have to think, like Tyler Hoechlin from Superman and Lois, the TV show, I think he's got to be like up there. He's one of the best. His Superman was so good. His Clark was so good. Not as much of a difference between Clark and Superman as Christopher Reeve did.
Yeah.
But Tyler Hoechlin as Superman for a CW show whose budget getting cut season after season after season. I mean, what a stellar show. One of the best ones out there. Best series finale of all time. And it's in large part because of him. And I mean, he made it work. It's Superman, a TV show, that can't be all that great, but he made it work,
Yeah. So. I also, Tom Welling, I have a place in my heart for Smallville.
Always hold on to Smallville, as Jonathan Kent said in the finale.
I like Brandon Routh better as Ray Palmer.
Yeah.
Than Superman, but he was a fine Superman too.
My favorite Superman right now is Tyler. Lois is so wonderful in that series as well. I agree. I mean, like, Superman and Lois just knocked everything out of the park. If anything, like, I can't remember the actor's name who played Lex. Well, he was pretty scary too. I mean, yeah, everything about that show. Yeah, Bitsy Tulloch as Lois, she was amazing. I like Erica Durance as Lois from Smallville.
Yeah.
I think maybe she's my favorite Lois because she had the right combination of, fierceness with vulnerability. She was sexy, but she was also like all, business, and like she had it all. She was a total package.
New Lois is really good.
She's really good too, and I want to see more of her. Yeah,
very comic accurate Lois.
I would love to see like an HBO Max series of her, kind of maybe like modeled off of, was it Greg Rucka who did that 12-issue Lois Lane series from a few years ago?
She had to kind of go undercover.
Yeah, she was working with Renee Montoya a lot like that. I would like to see like an adaptation of that with Rachel Brosnahan, because she was really good. I definitely want to see more of her. I'm just grateful we didn't get a Nicolas Cage Superman. We kind of did, though, in the Flash movie, right?
Yeah. No, we didn't.
Not really.
We got some weird
CGI monstrosity. And Nick Cage was like, I went in to film some stuff. He said, it wasn't any of that.
Yeah.
I didn't do any of that. So, and yeah, Superman Lois is the best CW show for sure. And speaking of Super, I did not get a chance to read this one, but what did you think about Supergirl number 3?
So this Supergirl number 3, I really like this issue. It is, like we've talked about before, the first 2 issues, a very Silver Age feeling.
Yeah.
It's a very like, you're fighting a villain, but it's sunny outside type thing. Right. Is what I was kind of think of a Silver Age. Some weird stuff happens, like that also feels very much like something that would happen to Superman in the Silver Age or Jimmy Olsen. Supergirl gets transformed into
a giant turtle?
No.
Barner.
I'll just say, because it's on the cover of the A cover, she gets transformed into Satan Girl.
Oh, that's her.
That's her.
Oh, okay.
And I'll leave it at that, but that was very interesting. Most of the story gets wrapped up in this one, but there is something that happens at the end that's like, okay, now here's going to be some ramifications of stuff that's happened. But I think this is really setting up to be a really, really fun Supergirl run. I would like to see it, right now it's kind of lighthearted, even though there's threats. It's still, I would like to see it have some serious moments. I would like to see this Supergirl kind of, run into some maybe it's not as sunny. It's a little bit more dangerous. But I really like this issue. These are my issues. These are my copies. I got the art germ of this one because that's fantastic with Streaky, which I love.
On FOC this weekend is the trade paperback that collects the Supergirl backup stories that were in, I think, Action Comics for a while. I don't remember the name of that story, but they're all being collected into a trade. So, if you're looking for a good Supergirl story, a new one, maybe you haven't read that one, you can grab this trade, order by this weekend with your shop. And there's another new Supergirl story for you.
Yeah. And the other one I did get a chance to read that I have to talk about is Aquaman issue number 7. This is a big one. I feel like, I don't know how much things that happen to Aquaman make the comic book news circuits.
Not often.
But stuff happens in here that I think would, if anything, have the chance of doing that. Aquaman finally gets to a destination he's been trying to get to, but what he finds there is maybe not what he expected, and some pretty tragic things happen in this one, as well as some familiar faces, but not in ways that you expect, also appear. So this one was one of the most shocking issues of this series so far, when Aquaman gets to this location and who he runs into is very exciting. So highly recommend this run of Aquaman so far. It's been very weird, but I like the setup of the blue, and I'm looking forward to, I forget, it's an issue we've talked about on the show.
Did he lose an arm?
He did not lose an arm nor leg. Aquaman doesn't lose any bits in here, but he may lose something else. I'll say that. But I do know an issue we talked about on Comics from the Future.
His marbles. He lost his marbles.
He goes batty in this.
He lost his car keys.
But we are getting up to a point where they're done with this storyline. But like, I think the blue gets unleashed.
Oh yeah.
And it kind of becomes a thing, and he returns to land. So I'm really excited for that. I'm really excited to see now what happens in all of this. How does it affect when he goes back to kind of a more status quo? I'm also looking forward to maybe getting him in Justice League Unlimited a little bit more.
Well, in Justice League Unlimited right now, the hook hand Aquaman is there.
Which I'm all for, too.
There's a bunch of time-displaced heroes there.
A really angry...
Does he lose Toppo?
No, never. Toppo is the best. Although, Sword of Atlantis Toppo is a weird one, because he's like a little octopus boy. And that one is very weird, but I love classic Toppo. And what's his seahorse's name? It's like Flash or something.
I don't remember.
Tyler would know the seahorse's name.
James
Storm.
Gunn.
I think his name is Storm.
Okay. James Gunn. I need an Aquaman movie with Toppo, just like how Crypto is in Superman. I need Toppo.
Yeah,
with Aquaman.
I mean, I don't know how people felt about it in I don't remember which Aquaman movie it was, but where Toppo was playing the drums.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that's Aquaman. Like, give me some weird sea stuff like that where, fish are playing instruments and all that.
Yeah.
I really hope we do get a James Gunn Aquaman that is a little brighter. It's, the traditional look for Aquaman, Atlantis, and, you don't even have to do Black Manta again. You can do a more like Ocean Master or whatever the fisherman.
Oh yeah.
Or there is a lot of Piranha. Do Piranha, the guy who actually bit off Aquaman's hand.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
On TikTok, Emperor Mark wants to know, have you guys ever read Batman Arkham Asylum? If so, please tell me how you like it or hate it. I have not read it, but you read it, right?
I've read it a long time ago, back when I was trying to read...
Bueller, what's up?
Like all Grant Morrison stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it is different. It is not your traditional... story. And was it Dave McKean on art?
I'm not sure, but it's definitely doesn't look like a typical comic with, nice pencil lines and panels. It's very painterly, very scratchy paints and things like that.
I would say I like it. I do like it because I like pretty much all of Grant Morrison's stuff, but you do have to kind of like redo your brain when you like, I'm going to read this. Because even during his Batman run had like a whole issue that was like prose with like little images and stuff. You kind of have to like get into the mindset of how this is. And of course, it's a good story. Like Arkham Asylum is a good story. It does fit because it's kind of Batman falling down the rabbit hole of Arkham. Would I recommend it to everybody? I probably wouldn't recommend it to someone new going into...
No, definitely not a new reader.
Batman stuff, but maybe for people who are looking for something different. Mm-hmm. Like I've read Court of Owls, I've read Hush, I've read, Dark Knight Returns. I'm looking for something a little bit different. Then I would say, if you read Arkham Asylum. Yeah. That is a different, that's a different doorway into Batman.
Yeah, there's plenty of books like that I do not recommend to new readers, because it's like, it's a very deep book, and I don't want new readers to think that all comics are like that. I want readers to see how fun and exciting comics are, and then once you've developed that taste for it, now we'll get to the more like refined
Which is
things.
Why I think it's always weird that Watchmen is held up as like this. Oh, if you never read a comic, read Watchmen.
No,
I don't think that's a great recommendation. I think Watchmen means more if you're familiar with comics.
Absolutely.
Because it is a mirror of comics. It shows you a different a way of viewing heroes and everything, which I think is lost if you don't already have. I feel like it means more if you know, like, that was supposed to be Blue Beetle, that was supposed to be Captain Atom, that was supposed to be whoever. And then, like Rorschach is supposed to be the Question. Then you're like, oh, I see how this is. Yeah. This kind of mirror world of that.
The Flashies on YouTube says, thank you both for all you do. You help us collectors know what to order and ask our comic shops what we want. Well, thank you very much. That's the goal.
The number one goal of this is really informing people then to know how to get their comics. Make a bridge between that, inform you about what's coming out, and then know how to ask for that, whether you shop with us or your own local comic book store, because we are a comic book store. This is Infinity Flux. We are sitting in there right now. We do have a website, infinityflux.net, where you can get your comics from, but we want to support a local comic book store wherever you are, because that's what we are and that's how we've thrived, is from locals shopping with us. So if that means you shop somewhere else and you like that shop, if you've got one you're like, it's terrible and they treat me horrible, don't shop there. We would say, hey, you could shop with us.
Yeah.
But this only works if we have healthy, good comic book stores across the world that support their customers and interact with them and all of that. So that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Is if this helps you with your comic book shop, then more power to you. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, we do not mind if we are not your store, as long as you have a store and you're able to order from. Like we just want to put information out there.
Yeah.
If you order from us, that's a bonus for us.
Yeah.
But if you don't, we still just love that people are buying comics. So that's our main goal, is just to put information out there. Nurion, this is interesting. I just pre-ordered the new Skinbreaker series, and it says there's a Treasury Edition available. What's a Treasury Edition? So, did you get the Superman?
I don't have it.
So basically, Andy and I have read the first issue of Skinbreaker, and it's really good. I liked it a lot. So a Treasury Edition is just a bigger. Yeah, we don't have one around here.
I don't know what.
It's just a bigger. It's taller than a normal comic, and it's wider. It's more square. It's more magazine.
It's like a magazine and a half.
Yeah.
Tall.
So it's still the same story inside, still the same artwork and everything. It's just a physically bigger book, is all it is. So you get the artwork's bigger and prettier, but it's on for this one in particular, for Skinbreaker in particular. The Treasury Edition is printed on newsprint, right?
Yeah, which I love.
Yeah.
I love newsprint.
Yeah, that not all Treasury Editions are on. That's not like they're not synonymous. They don't go hand in hand. Treasury Edition is always on glossy paper, but they might. But this one is on newsprint. But yeah, it's just going to be physically bigger. The cool thing about Skinbreaker is that David Finch, actually, when he was doing the art for the book, he did it on the boards he did it on were twice as big as normal.
Yeah, I think he did like 2 boards per page rather than 1, or worked out. It was essentially double size.
Yeah, and then shrank it down.
Yeah, so he could get more detail in it. So that's why they're releasing this, is like a little bit. It's still not up to the size that he worked on it, but making it bigger allows you to see more of that detail. Yeah,
so the Treasury, that's a good pick, because it's a great book. Mm-hmm. The artwork's beautiful, and in Treasury size, that is going to look fantastic. So that was a good choice.
It's a really good book too, and I can't wait for us to talk about it on. I mean, it's not even up on Comics from the Future yet. It's not up to order because it comes out in.
It's a few months out.
Out. But I can already tell you it is worth picking up, especially if you're a fan of fantasy and you like orcs and that kind of stuff. And if you played the Horde in World of Warcraft and you liked the orcs and their storylines and stuff, I think you'll like this one.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. Oh, Frag Monkey's in the store. Are you standing outside the door right now?
That's horrifying.
That is pretty scary. But the call is coming from inside the comment is coming from inside the store. I got the Authority small comic collection. It was really good. Now I understand Jenny Sparks. Yeah, the compact comic.
Yep, yeah. I got that one also. Mm-hmm. I've been trying to get all the compact comics. Even though I already own most of the things, I just think they're fun and cute and small.
Yeah. The compact comics are great. And DC is just cranking them out, which I love. Marvel does have their own version, the Premier Collection books. It feels like they're not putting those out as quickly or with as much quantity as DC is. It's not a competition, just making that comparison. But the compact comics are $10. You get all kinds of great stories.
I think that's so. Once again, Marvel has great stories. DC has great stories. I will say for these compact editions, I like DC's better. One is the across the board $9.99 price point.
Yep.
I think that is very they are roughly the size of a manga, and in most cases cheaper. About as cheap as you'll find a manga is $9.99. Most of them are $12.99 to $14.99, and that does open these stories up to a crowd who are maybe more used to reading books that size now, like some kids or people who just are more familiar with that format. I don't own any of the Marvel ones. They're a little bit bigger, and
they are a little bigger than the compact.
They are a little bit bigger, and the size is fine, but I don't feel like it's enough of a difference that I feel like I need that. Plus unless they put out something that I'm like, oh, I don't have that and it's unavailable in another format.
Well, I think they're doing one for Civil War, and I don't have Civil War physical at all, so I think I am going to get that one. But plus the Marvel ones are 15 versus 10 for DC. So again, not a competition. They're both pumping out great books with great stories. I do prefer the DC ones a little bit more, though. Oh, yeah, they're doing that with the new Hush books. Easier. Yeah, the Treasury size. Yeah. Just be the one issue, the Treasury size. It's the entire series.
Yeah.
They're doing the entire series in both regular size and Treasury, so you can pick whichever one you want. The Treasury sizes are more expensive. I think they're going to be, are they going to be like $14.99 or something?
$14.99 or more.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm not positive. Oh, wait, I can tell you.
And then Dungeon Crawler Kevin, any info on the Marvel for Dummies books
and their cost? Those.
I didn't know that they were a thing until I saw an ad for them in a Marvel comic, I think last week. But no, I don't really know. I would love to see them.
I'd be really interested to know. I even had, like back in the day, I had Spanish for Dummies. I had some of those. I hope it brings something that's something I can't just Google and find. I want it to have a little personality to it. By the way, the Skinbreaker Treasury Edition is going to be $14.99, and it's 10 by 14.
Okay. Yeah, the Marvel for Dummies, even though, we both know it's not a flex, but we know quite a bit about comics and the stories in them and that kind of thing. But I still do like guidebooks and resource guides and things like that. So, I'm still interested in the For Dummies books because, like you said, I do wonder what's in them. What do they cover? Because I love being able to pick up a book and say, I can't remember this one character, or I can't remember this one issue that this thing happened in. I love being able to pick up a book and just using it as a guide because we don't know everything, right? So
I love the old Marvel encyclopedias.
Yeah.
I had the hardcovers. I had the Encyclopedia of X-Men, Encyclopedia of just the Marvel Universe. They were really nice hardcovers. Now thinking back, I'm trying to remember who did the covers, but they're beautiful covers. They had the power levels of everybody. I used to pore over those things.
Yeah.
And
there's a book right out here that I looked at today. It's like DC. It's a book about DC's biggest events, and it has Crisis and the Flashpoint, but then it has smaller events too. And I was I've read all these events, but I just like having information about them in one book, just so I can look back and see issue numbers and stuff. We only have a couple minutes left, but we just wanted to go ahead and say that we saw Superman last night, and we both loved it.
Yes.
We won't spoil anything for you, but it's absolutely phenomenal. It's so much fun. It doesn't feel like a comic book story that was adapted into a movie. It feels like you opened a comic, and it just came off the page.
Yeah.
And you're watching, instead of reading the comic, you're watching the comic with real life actors. I don't know if that makes any sense or not, but that's what it feels like. It feels like this is maybe one of the truest comic book movies ever.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. The most seamless of the format to another format. Everyone go see it because it is it's so much fun. It does runs the gamut of Superman things from the action, the heart, the everyone should look up to Superman because of what he stands for and his unflinching kind of morality that is so good.
There was Superman says one thing in the movie that the entire theater went, "Aww."
Yeah.
I mean, so stuff like that. I mean, that is, that's Superman. That's what he should be, And then I do feel like it might be, some of the things in it might be a bit high concept for just the normies, right? The people who don't normally watch comic book movies, who don't read comics. Some of the things may be a little bit out there for them, but for us comic book readers, I was that's that and that's that and that's that.
And if they've seen any Marvel movies, they know about they're monsters and superheroes and stuff.
Yeah. So we absolutely loved it. 2 thumbs up, 4 thumbs up. We had 8 thumbs up last night because there was 4 of us there. I mean, and everybody at the theater seemed like they had a good time with it.
Yeah, afterwards, it was just people talking about, oh, man, I wonder this and this. And people excited about, things to come from this new cinematic universe for DC. And that is always fun to hear.
Yeah.
It's people already right after it's over, people are already talking about oh yeah, then we're getting Peacemaker season 2, we're getting Lanterns, we're getting Supergirl, already getting excited about the stuff to come.
If the rest of this whole DC universe, cinematic universe, is as fun as this movie, then we are all in for a huge treat because that's what it is. It's fun, It's not super like cerebral, and it's not like overly complicated or even deep. It's just fun. And if you like comic books because they're fun, then this is going to be the comic book movie for you. I mean, it's wonderful.
Yeah. It's also just a great example of like a summer blockbuster.
Yep.
It's just a beautiful spectacle. There's so many great scenes of Superman flying that really be like, man, that's what it would look like in motion of him flying so fast.
Yeah, we've never the aerial stunts, whether it's fighting in the air or flying, or whatever. We've never seen anything like it in any live action Superman ever.
No.
Like this showed us new things.
Yeah. Even in Marvel stuff, you've got Iron Man, the way he flies, but no one flies as fast as Superman, and that is conveyed in such a cool way.
Yeah. All right, guys. So we gotta wrap it up here. The store is about to close in a couple minutes. Andy's got to go count the register, close everything down. Then I just have to sit on the couch. But yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. We hope you all go see Superman this weekend if you haven't seen it already, and we hope you love it. We will be back in 2 weeks, we will be. That'll be the day before we go see Fantastic Four.
Oh my gosh!
So there's so much cool stuff. So thanks all you guys for watching and for hanging out and chatting with us. We'll have our next video on Friday. We just posted our Flash video, and then we will have our Comics from the Future video on Friday. So you guys have a great weekend. Go enjoy Superman, and we will see you guys later. YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.